this set. You can see there's a lot, so we'll be covering it in separate segments of this video. I'll cover them in order of how the instruction books intend you to build it, and I will also show you images of what else you could build with this set via the alternate build ideas given in the instruction manual. So we're going to start out with the vehicles, and I will then move on to the rest of the builds, then the minifigures, and then I'll give my overall thoughts on the video as well. These are the two vehicles that come in this brick box set. There's one for Nia and one for Kai, the two ninja that are featured in this set. However, the interesting thing to note is that these particular two vehicles are actually substantial builds on their own and could make for their own sets. The vehicle for Nia is, I believe, the first vehicle we've gotten for Nia pretty much since the Ninjago movie. We haven't gotten a vehicle for Nia as a water ninja since then, because of the fact that they're mostly focused on dragons when it comes to Nia, or she's mostly focused on as a character in terms of the show's plot instead of a character that you see in a lot of sets. So it's great to see that we get a vehicle for Nia here, albeit it's a little small, but it does introduce some new pieces used for motorbikes and stuff like that, so I would appreciate more of these vehicles in the future. The vehicle doesn't really allow Nia to hold any of her weapons featured in this set, but that's okay. It doesn't need to. And you can see that there's a bit of metal detailing for an engine on front, as well as gold detailing and blue detailing along the sides of the vehicle. Overall, it's the smallest vehicle that they can possibly give, but it's a cool addition considering this is a brick box that's supposed to feature many different things to build. Then we'll take a look at Kai's vehicle over here. This vehicle is very similar to other vehicles we've gotten for Kai. Kai gets a lot of cars. In fact, this is the second car he's getting in this core wave. The other is Kai's race car Evo, which I won't be reviewing on this channel because of the fact that it's not necessarily a set that's easy to obtain. I haven't been able to find it in any of the local stores around here. But if I do obtain that set, it will get a review. This particular Kai car features a removable engine so that you can pretend that you're fixing the engine or adding in the... Basically, they're cannons because they're stud shooters that fire out studs. If you know how these work, you know why I'm not going to fire them off, because you can easily lose those studs if you fire them off into an open space. And they're transparent, so that makes them even harder to find. So for now, I'm not going to be shooting out those studs. However, if you look at some of my oldest videos on this channel, you'll see how some of them work. So feel free to check those out if you're looking to find out how a stud shooter works. The wheels are the same wheels that they used on Nia's in the front, which use gold with a small thin tire, while the back tires have a slightly larger tire but the same wheel piece still. Additionally, the front of the car is designed with some slopes and it looks really cool. It's an interesting use of those slopes. Would recommend using this in builds if you can figure out a way to implement a similar style. Additionally, there's a bigger engine booster in the back, which looks really cool. I mean, it's using the same piece as the engine in Nia's car, and I can see that people can probably make some really cool custom vehicles by combining these two vehicles, which is in the spirit of what the brick box is for, to inspire your own builds. There's also a little bit of a spoiler at the back, along with the booster, which is kind of cool, even though it is just a wheel piece attached to the back. But overall, these two vehicles are pretty fun, because they add a little bit more to this build set, which is mostly buildings and minifigures and accessories. So it adds a little bit of play for you to use if you really wanted to have fun. The next part of this build we're taking a look at is the blacksmithing area. This part of the set is the part of the set that features the collectible banner for this part of the core wave. In this case, the banner will showcase a hammer hammering onto the forge. On the inside of the forge here, you can see there's a large anvil with the Sword of Fire piece. This piece is one of the coolest pieces they released during the 2011 sets for Ninjago, and it's great to see that they're still including it. It's also neat because they give you a Thor hammer from the LEGO Marvel sets, which is really interesting. It does work for what this is, and it is an easy way to obtain a Marvel piece if you do not want to buy any Marvel sets. You can move up to the top of this area where you'll see that there's a printed dragon piece. This was originally released in the Kai's Fire Dragon 4+ set from Ninjago Legacy, and it has been used in other core sets previously as well, so it's great to see a printed piece with a dragon on it. I think it's a really cool addition to this set. You can see that the roof is using sloped green pieces, very similar to the set, the Ninja Dojo Temple, which I've also reviewed on this channel. You'll see that there's a card in the top of the screen that will showcase it, so feel free to check that out if you want to learn more about other sets of similar styles. And also, moving over to the back of the top, there's space for you to display one of the weapon racks, which we'll take a look at later. Overall, this is a significant part of the build, so I would say this is one of the cooler parts of the build for you to build, and it's cool that they have you build this early on, because they have you build Kai's vehicle first, so it makes sense to build a blacksmith shop next. Next, we'll be taking a look at the other buildings and training area supplies that are given in this set. This is the next build of the set. This part is a little tea room, which you could give for Wu, who is included in this set. There's only 2 sets that really feature a big tea room area, and one that is also a 4+ set in addition to those 2. The other is the Ninja Dojo Temple that I said earlier, and above in the card now you will see a link to my video for the Ninja Dragon Temple, which is the 4+ set that was released last year. It's always interesting to get a tea room because it's something that you don't see a lot in most of the Ninjago series, but it does tie back to Ninjago's lore of having things like Traveler's Tea included, so it's always nice to get that there. Additionally, it has the same roof style and same printed tile as the last one, as well as the same room for you to be able to place more weapons on the back. We'll take a look at those later. These are the parts to the set that feature all the training arena equipment. There are 4 of these builds in total, the first one being a main spinning thing, which they see in the Ninjago episodes, the pilot episodes in particular, that utilize this as a ninja training area. The idea is that this will spin around, and the ninja are trying to dodge what these are spinning around. They look like punching bags, so I guess it's kind of funny that they're made out of the texture for wood. So I don't know whether this is an idea on purpose, that they're supposed to dodge it, or if it would actually hurt if someone were to try this in real life. But that's a pretty cool thing for them to include. They also included a training dummy, which also can spin around, which is pretty neat. As well as 2 of these parkour jump things, which feature fire pits and fire beams on it as well, to provide a challenge for your ninja. Now, not many sets feature a training ground, however, the Core Wave seems to be doing a great job with that. The Ninja Dragon Temple that I talked about earlier in this video also features a small training area with spinning blades for you to dodge. And there's even some Spinjitzu training sets which were released in the first Core Wave as well that are designed to give you that exact feel of training. So it's great that they could include a full set of training equipment here, and it's always something fun to be able to build and play around with. This is the final build for the entire set. Now, this is also the largest build for the set, and it takes you over the course of 2 different bags to be able to build this entire build. You can see that this is a 2-story building with the same style and aesthetics of roofing, and even the same printed piece up here that many of the other parts of this set incorporate. So it's nice to see that they keep a theme with each of the buildings. On the bottom, you can see there's a little porch. You probably could fit some minifigures in there, well, albeit it would be a little difficult. And there's also a nice step so that people can get their minifigures up into the building a little easier, as well as some sides, which could also be removed and used as additional weapons. However, this set does feature way too many weapons already, so I'm not exactly sure if that's something you would want to do. Additionally, there's a second story where you can put Sensei Wu to watch over the training. However, you could put any minifigure up there, it's up to you. I think it's kind of cool that they featured a way to look out over the rest of the area. And something else to note for this set is they featured gold frog pieces up here. And those gold frog pieces are utilizing a new design for a roof, which looks very cool, and it's an easy way to get the frog Lego piece in gold if you don't have one of them already. Additionally, in the interior, you can open up through the back to see it. There's room in 4 different places here to place weapon racks down. Now this is great, but some of the weapons don't fit in the bottom story. So here I have displayed one of the 2 smaller racks of tools that come in this set. However, it does allow you to customize it to your will, and you can also change it up so that there may not be weapons in here. Maybe you could just have all the ninja meeting up in here. It's all up to the imagination with this set. That's the whole purpose of adding a brick box to Ninjago. Now, overall, I'd say this big build is pretty sturdy, and you can even remove the top very easily, so if you wanted to, you could just have the bottom like this, as like an outdoor wall segment to the actual ninja training dojo. And you could also use this as like a little bit of a tent side build if you wanted to add some more detail to your build as well. So this is always, as always, it's always great to get more buildings for Ninjago. We don't get a lot of building builds. And in this case, they give you a bunch of extra stuff to build with, as well as some ideas in the instruction booklet for you to also utilize in your builds. Now, before I get to talking about the minifigures for this set, there's something I should address. This set comes with a boatload of weapons. If you're looking to get a set that features multiple different weapon styles for your ninja to use, this is the set to pick up. It features things like the Bone Weapon Pack, which features a bunch of different bone weapons, which is featured in some other sets of this wave, but this is a cool way to get it when you also get a load of other weapons. You also get iconic weapons, such as this sword here, which has the tassel that Lloyd's sword uses, as well as a trident-like spear that Nia could use, nunchucks that Jay would likely use, the Sword of Fire, and even the hammer from Marvel, which was used for Thor. All of these are pretty cool, but I think some of the coolest weapons are actually some of the most interestingly bland of all of this. This set features 2 katanas in brown, which I believe this is the first time we're getting them in brown, and this is the most realistic color we've ever gotten katanas in. So this is a great extension to the set, in addition to all of these other weapons. The other weapons include, and are not limited to in this set, there's a spikes on a stick that you can use. This is kind of like a mace. There's a bunch of sais, a spear, a bunch of different golden swords. There's a little scythe. There's an axe with a silver blade on it, a spear. There's also a bunch of colored katanas, which come with the actual ninja, as well as 2 golden katanas used as detailing on Kai's car, as well as some other weapons featured throughout the set. And the biggest thing to note about this is they do include a lot of extra pieces for these weapons. Like, each time you get 1 katana in this set, there's a duplicate for it. Now, this is cool and all, but this means there's a boatload of weapons in this set, so it's a great deal if you're looking to get something for your ninjas to be able to display with different weapons. Now, not all of these weapons are being used as minifigure handheld weapons, like the Forge uses the Sword of Fire and the hammer, as well as some of these weapons on weapon racks can be displayed inside the buildings instead of used by minifigures, and 2 of the swords are even on vehicles. So it's always cool to see the weapons are integrated into the build, similar to how giant swords get added into Ninjago vehicles and dragons. Now let's take a look at the minifigures, and then I'll give the overall thoughts for this review, and we'll tell you where you can find this. Now we're on to the minifigures for this set. There are 6 minifigures, 2 ninja, Sensei Wu, 2 apprentices, which are exclusive to the set, and 1 villain minifigure. Now let's start with the 3 minifigures over here on to the left. Here we have Nia and Kai as the 2 ninjas, featuring their signature weapons, the Sword of Fire and a trident. They also feature armor pieces with katanas attached to the back in their respective colors, which is kind of nice. Additionally, Nia does get featured in more sets this wave, which is nice because Nia usually gets left behind in terms of minifigure appearances, so it's great to see that they're putting more of an emphasis on Nia in this particular wave. Additionally, Sensei Wu's figure only appeared in 1 set before, and only 1 set in this wave, and the set it appeared in before is the Ninja Dojo Temple, which is something I've reviewed on this channel before, and if you've checked out the card earlier in the video, you can go and check out that video and find out more. His robes are tan, and they match up with his white beard very nicely. He gets the same hat that he's been using since 2011, and his face print is that from Ninjago Legacy. As well as the fact that he also has his famous staff, which is his primary weapon of choice in the TV series. So it's great to see that it comes with that. Now moving to the other minifigures. Let's take a look at the villain first here. I'm glad they gave us a villain in this set, but if they weren't going to give him a build, I don't know why they put him in at all. I mean, it kind of seems like he's just outbalanced here. So that seems like it's the way like that with most Ninjago sets these days, but honestly, they could have given him like a small vehicle or a giant crossbow or something to use. He only gets his weapon pack, which is cool that you get the weapon pack, and cool that you get his draw piece, which only comes in the more expensive sets of this wave. But really, it's just the same as almost all of the other villain minifigures in this wave. So, like, why bother with putting him in this set if you're not going to give him something good? That's really my only complaint with this set, though, because now we move on to some of the best parts of this set. There are 2 exclusive minifigures in this set, and they are the male trainee and female trainee. These 2 are like trainees that can be basically self-insert characters. You can change the hairpieces with ones from your own collection, and try and create a minifigure that you could use as your own minifigure, so that you can imagine that you are helping the ninja on their training journey to help defeat all of the evil villains. Now, the torso prints for these are pretty cool, but the pants are just reused from the last core wave, which we did get a Woobot in the Ultra Combo Mech that also featured the same printing. The hair pieces are pretty much standard LEGO City prints, and as far as I'm concerned, the face prints are just generic LEGO City prints as well, which is cool, I guess. If you don't have those hair pieces, I think that that's pretty cool that they give you those. But overall, I think it's cool that they added a way for you to self-insert your character, and it adds for many more play options with people who would want to try playing around with Ninjago and creating their own stories. Overall, I think this is a great minifigure selection, so now I'm going to move on to my overall thoughts and tell you where you can find this set and whether it's a good buy. So what are my overall thoughts on this? Well, it's one of the best sets that you could ask for Ninjago. They give you vehicles, they give you a villain, they give you heroes, they give you exclusive minifigures, buildings, training areas, tons of weaponry, cool exclusive banners, and the ability to tell your own story through the building that you're doing. So this is a great Ninjago set in that terms. In terms of display, this would look good if you were to put this next to the Ninja Dojo Temple set, or any of the other Ninjago temples that they've released. In addition to that, Kai's car also looks pretty good on its own, and it may be, even though it is just like all the other Kai cars, it may be the best car for display since it's so compact and little. Nia's vehicle is also something worth putting on display because they don't give Nia many vehicles, so it's good to see that Nia gets a vehicle, and you would want to display that because it's one of the only ways you can get Nia a vehicle. Additionally, this set's great for play because of all the different features it adds for you to be able to use different weapons, for you to be able to train with, for you to be able to fix cars, to change around the design of the buildings. It's always a great thing to see there. Now, in terms of the piece count, it's a pretty good piece count, so it's not too many pieces, meaning that it's worth the price point of $60 quite well, especially since you get some exclusive minifigures and pieces in this set as well. So, where can you find this set? Right now, I picked this up at a LEGO store, so you can pick it up there, but I've also seen that they do have it on Amazon, so if you're looking for a easier way to obtain one without having to go to your nearest LEGO store, yeah, you can go to Amazon. That probably would be your best bet to pick this up if you're looking to pick it up. This particular set is going to cost you $60, but it will give you $60 worth, if not more, worth in terms of all the fun that you can have with this. Now, this set I'd probably give, say, a 9 out of 10. It could be better. They could have given the villain a build as well, and some of the things probably could use a little bit more refining, like more details in the training area. But overall, it's a great set to pick up. And I hope you all enjoyed this review. Go ahead and check out the other core reviews on this channel by using the playlist link in the end of the video, so that you can check out all the first Core Wave sets. And also, remember to like, because it will help the algorithm find more people to enjoy videos just like these, and it shows me your support. Remember, if you subscribe, it will also put videos into your feed for you, which means you will be able to find me in a lot of my other content a lot sooner. And it's free, so don't worry about it damaging your bank at all. I would give this set the highest ability to be able to go far, and I highly suggest that you pick it up. If you enjoyed this review, have a great day.